Okay, chapter 8. Be a master of accountability, not a slave of blame. I watched too much television as an adolescent and a teen. Cable TV had just come out, okay? We finally had like over 100 channels. And channel surfing, that's where you're clicking for the next channel, the next channel, the next channel. That became the new American hobby. This is in the 90s, early 90s. My favorite time to watch television was during the winter holidays, like right now, in December. Major television networks like TNT, for example, they would have classic movies showing from Halloween all the way to New Year's Day. And some of my favorite classic movies were, they would always put The Wizard of Oz. They made a movie just now called, I think, Wicked or something like that. It's kind of a different take on that story. But they would play The Wizard of Oz, the original one. The Sound of Music, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original one of my favorite movies. And the Ten Commandments. Out of all of these, the Ten Commandments taught me the most about success. Okay? The Ten Commandments is the story of Moses, played by actor Charlton Heston. You might have seen a Disney movie, I don't know what it's called, but it was on that. It was on Moses and Pharaoh. I forgot what was it called?
It was,
I forgot what it was called, but there's a Disney movie on it. Okay, anyway. And this movie was about the liberation of the Hebrew slaves from Pharaoh in Egypt. Ramses was the Pharaoh. And he was played by actor Yul Brynner. He was a great actor. There are plenty of lessons to highlight from this epic Bible tale. However, I'm going to share the one that was most mind-altering to me in my youth, okay? Before watching this movie, I was a typical teen, cheating my way through school. I remember one time in my French class, I put the answers right in between my fingers, because one time my teacher asked me to show my hand, and he couldn't see that my answers were in between. That's how slick I was at cheating, okay? And there was all these ways we cheated back then. And I was cheating in a lot of classes, I'll be honest, okay? I just didn't study, and I was desperate. And this is why to this day teens cheat, especially in high school. They get desperate. They didn't study or whatever. Anyway, I was doing that. I copied people's homework sometimes. Yeah, I'll admit it. I cut corners. I basically cut corners. I didn't finish class projects, and I even cheated on not only on assignments but tests. I already mentioned that. But this movie taught me the significance and meaning of accountability. What is accountability? Because I love business so much, I'm going to give you a business definition. So accountability in business is the obligation of an individual or an organization, like a corporation, to account for its activities. Just this week or the week before, I saw it on the news this morning on Yahoo. Cracker Barrel. Okay? That's a franchise of restaurants, I think. Cracker Barrel. They didn't allow, get this. You know how we have special students here at the school? Very handicapped and require assistance and all that. Well, there was a teacher in high school, they take him out. And I know because I used to be an assistant principal at our Rancho, you know that? And we used to okay their field trips. They'd take them, sometimes we didn't have to, but they'd take them to the store to help them understand how to be independent, these students, right? So they took, this lady, a teacher took the kids to Cracker Barrel, and the manager at Cracker Barrel and the staff there didn't want to serve them. Can you believe that? They didn't want to serve these students who were handicapped and needed the experience of ordering at a restaurant, sitting down, having a meal. That was so rude and mean. And so the teacher went back to school, reported it, and it blew up. It went viral, right? And so now Cracker Barrel's CEO and its staff is meeting with the school district to kind of fix things, to make things better. And what is that? Accountability, right? So yes, it's bad for the company that one Cracker Barrel is going to get a bunch of bad reviews on purpose, being left by angry people. That's bad. But at least the CEO and the staff are meeting with the district to try to make amends, to try to fix things, to let them know how sorry they were that this happened to them. Accountability, guys. The business definition. Okay, you got to do that if you end up being the CEO of a company. You have to be accountable for all of your employees. Okay, so I wasn't taking care of business when it came to my personal character. But when I viewed Moses and Pharaoh being accountable for their promises and to their people, I practically lost it. How could anyone, I thought, hold themselves to such high ethical standards? I thought. I was puny in comparison. When I was accused of starting trouble in class, because I used to be a troublemaker in class, I'd point the finger at someone else. I'd say, oh, it wasn't me, it was so-and-so. The same thing happened at home. When I'd forget to do a chore my father instructed me to do, I'd come up with an excuse or a blame. I blame my older sister. I wouldn't take accountability for myself. Some things were my fault. I just had a hard time facing the lack of accountability I had for myself. But while watching the Ten Commandments, I came upon a mind hack. Remember, we talked about mind hacks that would push me to be more accountable. Here it is. There is a famous line in the movie that gets repeated by the opposing characters of Moses and Pharaoh. If you watch this movie, okay, it is, so let it be written, so let it be done. So Pharaoh would say that right after he'd come out with an order, or so would Moses after he'd say what he was going to do. It's like bet. It's like that. You guys know that word, right? Bet. Like, okay, bet. So that's how they would say bet back then. So let it be written, so let it be done. So I love this line. To me, it meant that if something is going to get done, it had better already be written down in the history books as an accomplishment. In other words, in the Egyptian culture of ancient times, if Pharaoh commands something in a certain way, his historians better write it as such. If Pharaoh says it needs to be like this, people, when those, they take the pick and on the tablet, they better write it exactly as Pharaoh commanded it, right? Or they might be in trouble. They might not be scribes anymore. So, and his subjects also better get it done. So Pharaoh's great legacy is literally, guys, etched in stone. When we say it's etched in stone, that's what we mean. That's accountability. Okay? I like so let it be written, so let it be done so much that I started using it as my own catchphrase. You know what a catchphrase is, right? Like in a movie, you might see a character, they have a catchphrase. So at school, I would use it. Other kids thought I was weird. Like, what's wrong with this guy, right? So my track coach and teachers were impressed with me, finally. They asked me to do something, I'd say the line and act as if it was already done. Okay? Of course, it meant what? It meant that I actually had to do it. Okay? That I actually had to produce. No excuses for me anymore. I can't just run my mouth. When you say something like, so let it be written, so let it be done, or bet, you better get it done. Otherwise, you're just a talker. Okay? You can't just run your mouth. Everyone's going to know you're just a talker. So if you're not holding yourself accountable, you absolutely must change this about you. Okay? I can't stress this enough right now. No one's going to trust you. Listen, no one's going to trust you in life if you can't keep your word. Not keeping your word or promises and not having something to stand for makes you a person without integrity. And we've talked about integrity in this class during the leadership unit. Successful people, all of them, are first and foremost leaders who are accountable to themselves and their employees. Successful people know that whatever they commit to doing or instruct others to do, that better get done. Their business or their brand, they're penalized financially if there's no accountability. And workers do whatever they want if there's no accountability. Okay? Below is a strategy you can use to make up your accountability. This is called make a bet exercise. Students your age love to make bets, right? Some of you already say the word bet. This exercise gives you permission to make bets with others all the time. Let's say you're assigned something to do by your teacher or your parents. Think of an assignment you might have due coming up pretty soon in your other classes. How can you complete this task? And if you're not gonna complete it, because normally you don't do a lot of work, well, make it interesting. Turn it into a wager. So I'm talking to some of you here who don't do work. Turn it into a wager. For example, let's say you have to make Google Slide class. Let's say it's behind me with the other science class, Mr. Parrott, or some other class. Find someone in that class and say, hey, let's say, I'm in the class, in math class with Xander here. So I'm gonna say, hey Xander, I'm gonna get this project done. You wanna bet 10 bucks? But here's the catch. Xander's not gonna wanna give me 10 bucks for me doing my own work. Why? No. That's not how it works. It works like this. You pay your friend or whoever you made the bet with the money. But if you don't do it, they don't pay you anything. See how that works? Basically, they're gonna get money, right, if you don't get it done. So you need to get it done in order not to owe them the money. That's how that works. That might motivate you to get the assignment done because you don't want to give up your money to someone else for nothing. So then when you're done, you share the document as proof. Okay, see, I did it. Okay, now you don't owe them any money because you did it. You were accountable. And they're cool. They're like, oh, glad I could help, right? They might say to you, glad I could help. Glad I could be your stressor. Glad I could be your motivator for that purpose, to helping you out. So let's say you have an F in math. Your parents notice it on their parent portal. So once you're done apologizing to them for your F, because some of you never apologize for your grades, and you should if you're flunking everything, and they're your parents. They didn't put you on this earth for you to fail everything. Okay? They want to be proud of you. So you should immediately apologize to them as much as possible after each quarter report if you have an F. But now, after you're done apologizing, bet them this: a whole month of doing the dishes. Your parents, your mom or your dad, say, Mom, Dad, I'm really sorry about this F in math or this F in English, whatever. I promise that I'm going to raise it to a D plus by the end of next quarter, or a C minus. And if I don't, Mom or Dad, guardian, whoever it is, grandma, if I don't do that, if I don't keep my word, I'm not accountable, I'm not going to be on the computer for a whole month, or I'm not going to be on my phone for a whole week. You get to have it. You get to keep it. I won't be using it. So that puts pressure on you to get it done, right? To do what you said. But see, the key is to get creative with your bets and to risk losing something of value to you. What's of value? Money. What's of value? Time on your phone, time on the computer after school, maybe a sport you like to do, and your parents are paying for you to do it, or a music class after school, something of value. And I guarantee that by doing this exercise, you will start to be more accountable to yourself. I used a catchphrase, a mind hack, and it helped me become more accountable. You can use this other trick, making a bet with someone else or with your parents, and that will make you hopefully more accountable. And in due time, you won't need to do these strategies. You will become an automatic accountable team. Yes? Okay, thank you.